Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the My Lead System Pro Morning Wake-Up Call. My name is Dean Black, and I want to thank everybody for coming out and chatting and saying hello a little bit before we got the call started, and the intro's there. Fantastic. I love to hear everybody come out. It's great. And, connecting those names and everything with the people that I met at Live the Dream, which is even cooler. And I also want to give a big shout-out to everybody who listens to this on the recording, because I met a lot of people, and I know there's a lot more. A lot of people at Live the Dream came up to me and said, thank you so much for the calls. And, of course, I didn't know their names or anything because they listened to them on the recordings and they had said that. And so kudos to you, because you know how important it is to get a little bit of this in every day. And you know what? That's the reason why we do this call. It's for you, okay? After today, the calls are over for the week. Check your back office. There is the Leadership Journey 5-month thing that is going on. Check your back office because it's still available, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Check your back office for that link and for the calls that will be coming up next week. And that's all the housekeeping. So without further ado, our host for this morning, L3 leader, and I'm going to stop saying new MMT member because they've all been in for a month, and I think everybody's already done at least one call, if not more. A gentleman that I finally got to meet at Live the Dream. Great guy, and we're really honored to have him in our community. Brings lots of value, Mr. Marty McDonald. Good morning, Marty.
Good morning, Dean. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And it was great to see you, too, and spend some time at Live the Dream. And, it's all good. So I'll get this kicked off and rocking and rolling here.
Cool. The call is all yours, Marty. I'm going to mute out.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Dean. No problem. So I was thinking around this morning in the past couple of days about, hey, I got this call on Friday. What am I going to do? And I'm really good at just kind of winging things and just kind of start talking on a topic, and I'm really good. Once you get over like 10, 15 minutes, I can get off track, but I'm really good for like 10 to 15 minutes. But I wanted to, have it revolve around Live the Dream, and I was thinking, well, maybe I could do this, or maybe I could do that. And about 20 minutes ago, I guess, I kind of scrapped it all and wanted to just, talk about Live the Dream 1, 2, 3, and 4, and give you a little bit of perspective for everybody on the call. So I want to take you back. I'm going to go back 9 years to 2004, and I was involved heavily in real estate, and I started to dabble in internet marketing. And I wound up, for a lack of a better term, I don't like to use this term, I was ripped off to the tune of about $6,000. And this was early days of some of the internet stuff in 2004 and all that. And I don't like to say ripped off because, it's my responsibility, to do that. It was a bad choice, but I didn't do my due diligence. So we fast forward ahead to about 2008, and I started to feel okay about doing some things online. And, moving forward there, I got introduced to MLSP by a friend. And at that point, I was really, I was shy about going out on the internet again. I was gun shy. I didn't know, but it made sense. It's online. Who doesn't build a business online these days? In any type of business. So when I was referred to MLSP, I started looking at it, and shortly, not too long after, they were having Live the Dream 1, which was in Las Vegas, and it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, these people are going to put themselves out there, and they're going to have an event and speakers and everything about it, and really wanted to make sure it was for real. What's this all going to be about? So I went to Live the Dream 1, made the investment, and showed up, but it was there kicking tires. I was wanting to make sure this was real. So the whole common theme through it was we're going to build a community. And I'm like, I was a little skeptical. I'll be honest. I was 100% like, these for real. And I was a VIP, and I went to all the parties and the events, and I was literally just kicking tires and talking to people. Did I like it? Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. I thought it was great. And I got to talk to Brian, Todd, Norbert, Roxana, and a few other people. And it was interesting and I told this to Brian the other day, that they all said community without saying exactly, hey, we're building this community. We want people to come together. We want it to be about them. And that's our vision, long-term vision. They didn't necessarily know how they're 100% going to get there, but this was the start of it. And, I was like, cool, and I got to talk to everybody, and they were real people, and it was different from any other thing that I went to in that type of space, and it was different in a good way. And it was a lot of fun. I met a ton of people. One of the highlights when I walked a couple of things I walked away with was people were real. They wanted to have, some good conversations, which I always find to be, a good part, and there was a lot of action takers. One of the highlights was standing out on the strip talking to David Wood about a few things, and it was, just an interesting, fun conversation, and it was great. I walked away and I go, I think they have something. I think there's something there. So leaving Live the Dream 1, I had an idea. I was like, this is, a community that's being built, and I like it. So going into Live the Dream 2, and this time we're in Disney, and during the course between Live the Dream 1 and Live the Dream 2, I had some things come up in my life. I had a tremendous, awesome opportunity in a position that I took. It was a job. It allowed me to travel all over the world, to Europe and Canada and South America, and I traveled extensively during that time. I was leaving the country about every 3 weeks for a good solid 18 months, and it was a blast, and it was a great experience. But when I got to Live the Dream 2, we were in Disney, which is a great place to live the dream. At this point, I had change in my life going on that I was like, all right, I've done all of this. I've hit all my corporate goals. I have a little business that's growing that I do now that's a side business. And I'm like, but I really like this MLSP. I like the internet marketing piece. I want this to grow as well. And I wanted something different. So while I was there, I took action. I started talking to all the leaders at the time. I asked them about different things. I had tons of notes from Live the Dream 2, asked them how they got there. I remember talking to Ray Higdon when we were getting coffee. It was, it was good because I put myself out there, and just finding out all this information. And I actually wound up, signing up for the mastermind weekend to kind of get myself immersed into MLSP. My goal was coming out of Live the Dream 2 to just take action and get involved. And that's what I did. And it was awesome. I also made myself 2 other promises at Live the Dream 2. One was I'm never coming to another one of these when I'm not on stage. And 2, I want to help the community grow the best way I can. So an interesting thing happened between Live the Dream 2 and Live the Dream 3, where I got sidetracked by a business that I started, and anybody that wants to can just ask me about it. It's a consulting business. I got sidetracked after coming out of that mastermind and wrote a great business plan on the plane ride home, and it took off. Excuse me. And it was, really cool, but it, again, took me a little bit away from MLSP. But I utilized all the MLSP trainings to help build this business, and I was really, really proud of that. But I was kind of bummed that I wasn't involved in the MLSP community as much as I wanted to be. And by the time Live the Dream 3 went around, I'm going to 100% admit this right now, I had reservations of going because I wasn't where I wanted to be. I wasn't, doing some of the things within the community or having the success or the success I thought I should be having. And I'm like, well, do I want to go? Do I want to be there? I, wasn't sure if I should go to Live the Dream 3, be involved, do all that because I wasn't necessarily, right there, what was really interesting to me was getting there and getting involved with the community again. So I made the decision, and, I went to Dallas. And at Live the Dream 3, that night before the VIP party, Brian asked, hey, what's up? And at that time, I had just achieved L1, but, things were going not great with MLSP because I wasn't putting the time in. And I told him, I said, hey, here's what I did. I left the mastermind. I got everything done that I wanted to do, but this side business took off. And I told him about it. And he said, "That's awesome. I want you to come up on stage and share your story." So I was like, okay. I felt really good going to bed that night because I was like, well, that was one of my goals. I just wanted to get on stage and just tell everybody how great this was. So I got up there, and that was really cool because that was one of the goals that I set leaving Live the Dream 3. I actually got to be on stage twice because I got an award, and everything worked really well. And I was ingrained. I kind of got everything going again, got juices flowing, not because I was on stage, but I was back with the community and talking to people. And that was a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of fun to see one of my goals come true. And that's the power of going to events, because you get in there, you start taking action, and you can feel everything that was going, and that's what propels you. You absolutely get propelled by going to these events because the energy is contagious. So to bring it full circle, in 2013, we just finished up Live the Dream 4, and it was exciting for me to see it all come together. That original vision, that feel that I had from Live the Dream 1 really came together. It was a family type of, atmosphere. People were taking action, shooting videos. It was something that really started to come together as the feel of an actual community. Not that it didn't have the feel at Live the Dream 1, 2, or 3. This time it seemed to have an energy all into itself. People were out and about. People were taking action, talking to other people, and really networking. And it was exciting for me to see, going to all 4 of them. It was different this time in a much better way. And I can't really describe it unless you were at all 4, but it's really evolving into something that's very, energetic. That, you have all the tools there, and you have everything that you need online, but it's great when you get to meet people and connect with them offline. Like Dean said earlier in the call, it's great to see the faces, you get to know everybody. It's a lot of fun. So, as some of you are on this call, we're leaving Live the Dream 4, I'm sure you feel somewhere the following, probably overwhelmed a little bit, probably a little tired, you might be a little sick. I have a little congestion or sinus issue going on this past few days. You probably feel fired up, you're happy, you're excited, all those emotions kind of come out over the, the days after, but most importantly, you need an action plan. Start putting some things down, put some goals down. I heard a lot of people go, I'm L5. That's great. And we want you to act that way. We want you to be there. Just like Dean said about Patricia, she acts like she's L5. I think that's awesome. Also remember there's steps to get there. There's L1, L2, L3, etc. Don't lose sight of them. Don't lose sight of those things. So get an action plan and get to work. And most importantly, just commit to go to Live the Dream 5. Commit to it. Say, I'm going, no matter what. Like I said for Live the Dream 3, things weren't going great for me within MLSP. I had other things that were going phenomenally. But I committed to go because I wanted to be a part of the community and I wanted to do things within this community. And I think that's a big thing, is when you can commit to something, you watch other goals and other things align. I can talk from now until the sun goes down today about things where I just said, hey, I need this by XYZ date, and magically things just start to line up. So make that commitment, be a part of the community, and the best way to be a part of the community is absolutely go to Live the Dream. These things can change your life. The community there and the people there are supportive. You get to talk to everybody. And, from now until Live the Dream 5, get on the webinars, get on the calls, hang out in the Facebook group, and, do everything. Get to know everybody. It really is, coming together great as a community. It's been growing, for the past few years, obviously, but, as these relationships deepen with different people and new people come, it makes it a heck of a lot of fun. So that's the wake-up call for today. It's a privilege and an honor to do these wake-up calls, and I hope everything worked out with the recording because I was getting some feedback there. But I'll see you on the next one, and I'll be in the Facebook group if you want to hang out for a little bit. Talk to you soon.